If your bench press is stuck or worse yet, regressing, I'm willing to bet that your bench bar path has something to do with it. In today's video, we're gonna break down what a bench press bar path should look like, why so many lifters get it wrong, and the one exercise that I recommend to fix it, the pin press. What? Cool cut. First, let's talk about the issue and why so many lifters mess up the bench bar path. Now, the issue is that when lifters press the bar, in the first few inches as the bar leaves the chest, they will either A, lose shoulder position and start pressing the bar out away from their shoulders, or B, they will allow their elbows to relax too much and come out behind the bar, leading the bar to just kind of list out away from the shoulders on its own. So what then conversely is the ideal way of the bench bar path looking? Well, let's show you really quickly. In that last segment, you would have seen one of our app members, Marsha, demonstrating her previous bench press faults. Now you can see clearly that as she comes off the chest, elbows flare, shoulders lose position, bar goes the opposite way. Now I'm gonna break it down here and try to demonstrate it as well. So what we tend to see is one of two things. Either we're losing position as we get to the chest and the elbows are coming out behind the bar so that when we press up, the bar naturally goes away from us. Or we get down to the chest, we're in good position all the way through, and then when we go to press, the shoulders slide up out of position, and again, elbows end up behind the bar, and we kind of press the bar out away from ourselves. Now, a lot of lifters, especially on heavy attempts, you'll notice they come straight up and out a little bit, it stalls, and then they're able to bring it back, and as they bring it back, things speed through. But ideally, the skill we're looking to develop in the bar path that we want to see is that we touch the chest, we bring the bar slightly back and up. So the immediate movement off the chest is back and then up. It's like a little J shape, little J curve bar path. For some lifters, this J curve is going to be really pronounced and you'll be able to easily trace it even just watching. Other lifters, it'll be a little more subtle. But if you can get this slight back over the shoulders bench bar path to happen, you're gonna be more consistent and better leveraged in your bench press. Now you might be asking yourself at this point, cool, but how do we fix it? Well, let's talk about that. So my favorite exercise for correcting a bench press bar path is the pin press. First, let's go through how to set it up. You want to set the bar at the normal height you would need to bench press. You want to find a rack where you can set the pins at exactly your chest height. Then you're going to bench almost like normal, but when you get to the bottom portion of the lift, instead of just touching your chest, you're going to come to a rest on your chest and the pins. Now you want the pins to take maybe 40 or 50% of the bar weight. You don't want to be completely relaxed, but you also don't want to just tap them and go. So come down 40 or 50% of the bar onto the pins, press, focusing on that bar path. And that's your pin press. Why the pin press? Why does this work so well? Why does this correct bar path? Well, it's because of the momentary relaxation of those supportive and postural muscles in the upper back. Because we relax even just slightly onto the pins and then need to retighten everything as we press, it teaches us to tighten everything as we press, or to lose less tightness in the bottom. So in that way, it can really carry over to help refine your touch weight and touch position in the comp bench. The other thing I really like about the pin press is the feedback that you get. So if you go to press the bar in the wrong direction, because of the relaxation, because of that momentary lapse of tightness on the pins, it's gonna let you know. that bar is gonna go flying in the wrong direction. You're really gonna feel the difference between a good bar path rep and a poorly pathed rep. So that feedback can go a long ways to exaggerating the fault and forcing you to almost overcorrect it, that you can then take forward into your competition bench to help fix the bar path. Now, interestingly, I talked to Marsha about which programs she ran in the Calgary Barbell app, and she did mention that a number of them used pin press, and that she found she was able to build a lot more consistency with how and where she was touching, and that contributed a lot to fixing her bar path. Now, let's take a look at Marsha's old bar path and how Marsha's bench looks now. As you can see, there's a pretty stark difference between the two, and pin press was involved. Let's talk real quick about how you might want to program the pin press if you're going to implement it into your training. I wouldn't replace your competition bench with it to start with. This should be an accessory exercise, something additional throughout the week. I would probably treat it much like a competition bench. You can load it up pretty heavy. You can do singles if you're in that phase of training. I like to use it anywhere between heavy-ish sets of 3 to 6, somewhere in there. And again, treat it like a competition press. It can go pretty heavy, 8-9 RPE, totally fine. But the big thing here is, again, making sure that we're executing it with an intent on execution. Not necessarily pushing it to the RPE of, I had 2 more reps absolute max, but I had 2 more good reps with a good bar path, because again, we're trying to use this as a sort of corrective exercise. We have a specific intention using this to have it carry over to our bar path. So if we go into the pin press and we just bounce the bar off the pins, or we just still bench with a poor bar path, it's not gonna fix anything. Bonus tip. All right, so another thing that you can do to help your bench bar path in a little bit more of a non-specific way is work the muscles that contribute, as opposed to focusing on the movement like we did in the pin press. Now, the muscles that I'm gonna recommend you target here are the front delts. They contribute to shoulder flexion, which is involved when we're talking about pressing that bar back. So doing front raises, right? Whether it's just dumbbell front raises, whether it's cable front raises, incline laying on your back on the incline laying on your front on the incline. Front raise the house down boots. No, front raises aren't gonna magically fix your bench press bar path, but they will probably contribute to it, and contribute again to the bigger picture of, okay, we're implementing pin press, we need to fix bar path, let's throw in some extra front delt work. Plus, who doesn't want bigger, juicier front delts? Real quick, I just want to take a second to give a shout out and a special thank you to Marsha. I reached out to Marsha about being an example for this video. She's somebody that we've been working with in the Calgary Barbell training app for a number of months now, who has made massive improvements, specifically to her bench bar path, but also to her squat, her deadlift. Like, she's really made a lot of progress. We're super proud of her, and I just wanted to say thank you to her for allowing herself to be used as an example here. If you want to be like Marsha and make a whole bunch of progress and make all your lifts better and do a couple powerlifting meets and increase your total and just get better at lifting, you can check out the Calgary Barbell app. It's in the description box below. So hopefully this helped. If it did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and stay tuned. We'll see you in the next one.